Well, on Tuesday, September 23rd, Donald Trump put everything on the line at the United Nations General Assembly, in which he had to personally address a lot of these globalist dictators there at the UN, an organization that I'm not fond of. But bottom line, two major things happened at that UN General Assembly. Number one, Donald Trump was sabotaged, in my opinion. I really don't see it any other way. And Donald Trump revealed that the United Nations is orchestrating an invasion, an attack, if you will, on our soil. I've got a lot to share with you today. And please keep in mind that I do believe that Donald Trump is putting his life on the line, revealing the stuff that he is to the United Nations. And I'm going to tell you why once I get into all of this stuff. But let's start first with the sabotage. For starters, when Donald Trump was there, the escalator suddenly and mysteriously stops when Donald Trump and Melania try to get on the escalator. I'm going to show you this video first, but I'm going to play it for you here without any sound. But you can see them walking, and literally the second Melania's foot hits the escalator, it stops, dead stops. Boom. Nothing's done. Notice no Secret Service is running to protect them. Nope, they just continue forward. Now, had that been the only issue that day, I might have marked it off and still been mad at Secret Service. I'm going to get into that in a moment. But that wasn't the only issue. In fact, he had issues with his teleprompter as well. Take a listen to this video clip here.
And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working.
Oh, odd, right? First the escalator, then the teleprompter. In fact, Caroline Levitt also points out a little later that an audio in one of the rooms had issues too. So three separate things. Sending off all my alarm bells, right? But here's the deal that I find really interesting regarding that escalator issue. Did you know that the Times came out and basically said that the staffers were joking about potentially doing that to Donald Trump? Odd, right? Take a look at this. And this was posted on Caroline Levitt's X page. And it states, if someone at the United Nations intentionally stopped the escalator as the president and first lady were stepping on, they need to be fired and investigating immediately. The Times reported this on Sunday. Remember, the event was Tuesday. This was reported on Sunday. To mark Trump's arrival, UN staff members have joked that they may turn off the escalators and the elevators and simply tell him they ran out of money, so he has to walk up the stairs. I don't know about you, but I really do not find that funny at all. Right? Especially when you think of the risk factor for Donald J. Trump. To be really honest with you, Donald Trump has already had 2 attempts on his life, right? One of the classic setups of an assassin would be, hey, let's just stop an elevator and, hey, right there. That's a classic setup. Why the hell weren't the Secret Service all over Donald Trump and Melania? That's a question that I have for Secret Service. They should have just stopped him right there to take extra precautions for our president, right, of the free world, who already had multiple attempts on his life. Why not take extra precautions? And then to take it further, if 3 separate things happened, somebody has to ask, is there more to the story? In fact, Caroline Levitt says that this needs to be investigated. And this is on Nick Sorto's X page. But here's what was said. Take a listen.
Caroline, it does appear to be sabotage with the escalator and the teleprompter.
Yep.
What is the White House going to do about that?
Well, Jesse, that's definitely what it appears to be to me, and that's why I put out a statement earlier. There was some concerning reporting over the weekend from the London Times, as you pointed out, that UN globalist staffers were basically plotting to set up the President of the United States. And first it was the escalator, then it was the teleprompter,
And
then Katie Pavlich from Town Hall,
right here,
who we offered a seat in the press pool to cover the president's historic speech today, noticed that the audio inside of the room was much lower and different for the president of the United States.
So three
than the
things.
previous speaker. So
Three
when
things.
we put all of this together, it doesn't look like a coincidence to me. And I know that we have people, including United States Secret Service, who are looking into this to try to get to the bottom of it. And if we find that these were UN staffers who were purposefully trying to trip up, literally trip up, the president and the first lady of the United States, well, there better be accountability for those people. And I will personally see to it, Jesse.
Amen. Big fat amen to that. Look, there's people at the UN who absolutely hate Donald J. Trump. He's defunding a lot of their organizations. You think these little 1%ers over at the top at the UN are not pissed about this? They're mad. And what they did, many of you may think, oh, it's minor to stop the escalator and the teleprompter. It's just small stuff. Well, small stuff could lead to a lot bigger stuff, especially when you're talking about a group of people that is mad at Donald Trump because he's taking their precious money away. We're still the largest funder of the UN, mind you, but Donald Trump has had it up to here with the people at the UN. And as you're going to see in a moment, the statement that he makes, he is absolutely putting his life on the line at the UN, and we really need to keep him in our prayers. By the way, you're not going to believe the excuse that the UN came out with today regarding these three mysterious events that just so happen to be coincidental according to the UN. Actually, they blame it on Trump. No joke. Oh boy, AP News. After mechanical challenges, UN says Trump's team to blame for non-working escalator and the teleprompter. It's all Trump's fault. Stephanie Dujarric, the UN spokesman, said, Stephanie, I guess, whatever, the UN spokesman said a videographer from the U.S. delegation who ran ahead of him triggered the stop mechanism at the top of the escalator. Sure. The safety mechanism is designed to prevent people or objects accidentally being caught and stuck in or pulled into the gearing. They said in a statement, the videographer may have inadvertently triggered the safety function. May have. You see how that works? Right. As he began his speech, Trump also noted the teleprompter wasn't working. A UN official speaking on the condition of anonymity, in other words, we don't want to tell you who we are because we don't even believe it's true, because of the sensitivity of the issue contributed, that one on his side as well, saying the White House was operating the teleprompter for the president. The White House doesn't operate what's going in, the power source and all of that. Okay, there's a lot more to the story here, but it's all Trump's fault. Gee, Wally, how did we not see this coming? But that is not all. Donald Trump, like I said before, it's putting his life on the line, especially with the next statement that he makes. But before I dive in that, I got to tell you, and you got to listen to me, we've got so much inside information on Restricted Republic that we're not posting anywhere else. And due to the sensitivity of it, we are posting it on Restricted Republic. Get there, sign up. It comes with a 14-day free trial. You can cancel when you want. It doesn't cost anything for 14 days. You don't get charged till after that. It comes free with all of it. But this is a video that I just put up that's exclusive to the platform. And I want to encourage you, get over there and watch it. There's a lot of videos like this going on up on the platform. You can see some of them coming across the screen. But I want to encourage you, sign up today, use the coupon code Lisa and the number 5 to get it for $5 per month. I really hope to see you over there in light of everything that's going on. You are truly missing out, but join thousands of others. Go to Restricted Republic, hit the pause button, sign up now, use that coupon code. Really hope to see you there. But with that, Donald Trump is really going after the globalist power heads at the United Nations. In fact, what you're about to see in a video clip, it's near 2 minutes, but I want to play the whole clip from you, is Donald Trump admitting that the United Nations has orchestrated an all-out invasion on U.S. soil. And there are some warnings there in his speech, but take a listen.
Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the number one political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through. But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net. We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well.
He's not wrong. And look, I've wrote down some points that he said in that speech because I think it's powerful. Number one, the United Nations is funding the assault on our country by keeping our borders open, giving millions, $372 million to illegal immigrants to help aid them across the border, food cards, credit cards, things to get them across the border. And now we have millions who have entered our country illegally, and they use our tax-paying dollars to do this. This is not supposed to be what the United Nations is doing. They're a peacekeeping force. They're supposed to help encourage peace around the world, not cause chaos in countries that are sending them the most money. Do you see how Donald Trump has just put his life on the line? They don't want to be called out for their actions. They want to do it under the radar, cause chaos in our country, destabilize our country because they are the ones that want to be in charge. They don't want us voting in a leader of the free world, Donald J. Trump, a leader of the United States of America. They say, no, we want to destabilize America because we want to be in charge. We want to push our climate agenda and make everybody under suppression. Put everybody under suppression and suppress everybody and control everyone. My words are being nuts. But they have not. What the United Nations has done is as they have allowed an invasion on U.S. soil, attacks on U.S. soil, even because a lot of these people coming in the border, there's a good chunk of them that are criminals and committing crimes and attacks on American citizens. And there's good people and bad people coming across the border. The bottom line, there's a crime that's being committed, and there's a legal way to do it. But why would the UN fund this? Think about that. Why would they want to piss off America and do that? Here's the deal. It's not pissing off any Democrat president. So if the UN had its way, they would love it if a Democrat was in charge because they can continue to destabilize our country, and the Democrats are okay with it because lots of their little voters are flowing in. Oh. Right? But when a real American like Donald Trump gets in, a true Republican, not this rhino stuff, now they're like, oh, and not really, folks. His life is on the line. Imagine the guts that it took for him to go and address some of the richest people in the world with the most powerful money because they have our tax-paying dollars behind them. Let me just show you here, by the way, how much we are funding The UN Peacekeeper Blue Hats, how much are we funding? The top 10 providers of assessed contributions to United Nations peacekeeping operations for 24-25. Yes, this is still under Donald J. Trump. United States, 26.95%. Now, this is going down, I believe, under Donald J. Trump. I think we're on a contract, if you will, but 26.95%. The good news is Donald Trump is taking some of that money and slashing it. Do you think that makes the UN happy? Or do you think it pisses off some people at the UN to potentially sabotage what he's doing? And here's the deal. Think of a mafia. Let's just call the UN a mafia for metaphorical speaking. If the mafia has a guy and a guy isn't putting out the money he used to put out, what does the mafia do? This is why I say Donald Trump's life is in danger, folks, and I'm not joking here. He is addressing powerful people with some powerful words that they don't like. That's why I'm not going to call an escalator stop a small thing. A teleprompter not being able to read is a small thing. Maybe if that happened to the average person who's not, putting their life on the line for something, putting your life on the line for stuff, it's different. Donald Trump just got in front of the UN and called out their globalist scams and what they're doing to the UN to their faces. You don't think some people are pissed? I think a lot of people are really pissed off. Anyhow, I wanted to bring all of this to you. Lots going on here. Please make sure you get to Restricted. Got some good exclusive content on there, but please keep Donald Trump in your prayers. He's fighting some big folks there. Anyhow, I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.